Hi, this video is going to help us save uploaded data into a Stata file, or a Stata data file, which is DTA, and then we're going to clear that out and show you how to open up a Stata data file. So it should be fairly short. So from the last video we uploaded our example data using a CSV, and our commands look like this. So if I go ahead and do this, just like we did, now I have my time, GDP, unemployment rate, and CPI variables in the active memory. So now I want to save this. So if I go down and I'm going to save using $data, which is our pathway, slash Stata example data, and instead of CSV it's going to be a .dta, which is a Stata data file. And then I close that, and I'm going to go comma replace, and that replace is going to say that if there's a Stata example data already in that location, it's going to override that and eliminate the old data set and save it as the new, what we're currently doing. So the first thing that you should know is that if we highlight just this row, it says invalid, and the reason that it's invalid is because we have an invalid pathway. So it's not saving it. For some reason it says we have an invalid here. So what we need to do is figure out what that is, and this is a great use of the help menu, so we can go help, save. And then what we find out is, using this, it says save the file name and then options, and the reason we have that using there, so we have to get rid of that. So what we would do, just go back to our do file, get rid of this using. So now we're going to save that, and now if we click just that line, we have the semicolon option not allowed, and the reason is because if we just do that line, it's not taking the delimiter into account. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the whole thing, and now because it set the delimiter, it recognizes that line, and so it says the DTA was not found, so it just saved it even though it wasn't found, so it created that file. The file is still in active memory until we clear it out. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go here, and then we're just going to clear. And if we run this whole thing again, notice because of the replace, it resaved the data and then it cleared it out of active memory, so we have nothing in there. So we imported a CSV, and then we saved it as a Stata data file, a DTA, and now we want to use that. So instead of working with the CSV and in-sheeting it, if we're working with fairly large data sets, that can take a while. So we may just want to save this as a Stata data file and then open up that and just use that new file, the DTA file, from then on. So what we would then do is we're going to use data slash state. I saved it as state, it should be Stata example data.dta. Close that, and then I'm going to go clear. And again, that clear tells us that we can clear everything from active memory. So I'm in-sheeting the CSV, saving that as a DTA, then clearing that from memory, and then I'm going to reopen that DTA that I just cleared. And if we do all of that, then we can see that it did everything. So it's resaved it, and then it cleared it, and then we used this, and now I have my variables uploaded from the DTA, not the original CSV. And you can see that it saved it just like we did using the CSV. So overall, we can always clear And then if you don't know where it's located, you can always just click on this window to open, and we can go to desktop and state example data, and we can just double click on that and it'll open it. And if you notice, that's the exact same line that I had just typed in. So you could always just copy this, and then where this is right here, you could just do the $ data and it would do the exact same thing that we typed in. So you can always open it from this data main viewer, or what I find useful is to do everything always through a do file, so that way I can always retrack exactly what I've done. So I can see that this is the file that I'm uploading, this is how I saved it, and then I'm using that data from memory from then on. So I prefer this method. That way I can always see exactly what I'm doing. So if something went wrong, I can go back and debug, because I know that something was wrong either in the CSV or this DTA. But overall, this helps you to understand how we're going to save data and then use data in Stata.